Hey guys, Brian here with Get Out Fishing, and today I'm installing a Lowrance fish finder on the front of my bass boat, and I wanted to walk through the installation with you just in case it's something that you wanted to do yourself, or some of you guys may already know how to do it yourself, and but sometimes there's some little nuances to the way that these things install and where you put them on the boat and how you wire them up that are different from boat to boat. And so I wanted to show you the way it looked on my model. I've got an older bass boat, maybe a little bit different from other models, so I wanted to show you how my install is going to go today, and hopefully it'll help you guys out if you're looking to do it yourself. So let me show you what we have here. Here's the model that I purchased. It is the Lowrance HOOQ² 4X. Just a small unit, but as you'll see in a minute here, here's the mounting bracket for it, but I just don't have a whole lot of room in the front of this boat. Some other things you're going to need if you're going to do this installation is probably 3.5, 4.5 inch clamp. I got these at AutoZone, and basically they're expandable. 2.5 to 4.5 inches should be what we need. Bunch of tie straps, obviously a screw gun to mount the screws, and then we're going to route the transducer and everything, tie the electrical into this electrical panel here, hopefully. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run the transducer cables through the bracket so that I can get it to come out this cable routing hole in the back. So now I'll be able to hook this, be able to plug this in and screw this to the front. And the way that I'm going to mount mine is I'm going to screw the bracket down right here in the front of the boat. Alright guys, now we've got the base mounted to the front of the boat, and I've got the Lowrance unit installed on it. Now we're going to install the transducer. Alright, so here's what we've got. Obviously I've got an older trolling motor here, and we're going to install it right here with a hose clamp. You guys notice on these transducers from Lowrance, they've got a slot in it right here. We're going to take this hose clamp and work it through and install it and put it around here. Now we want this thing dead center with the skeg, or the fin. They call this fin the skeg on a trolling motor. We're going to get this thing mounted up, and we're actually going to mount it this direction because that's the way that it really needs to go. That's the way it would be if you mounted it on the back of the boat, so the water would obviously run around it from this direction. Obviously it makes sense that the water would flow around it better that way, so we're going to mount it that way, and then we're going to tie it off with tie straps. So let me show you what that's going to look like. So as you can see, I've put this hose clamp through the slot here, and go ahead and tighten it down, start taking some of the slack out of it. Alright, so now I've got the transducer installed, made sure that it is lined up perfectly with, want to be in the center line of this transducer needs to be lined up right here on the skeg, best as you can. Got to tighten down so it's not going to wobble, and you're going to get the best reading when you're trolling through the water. So now I'm just going to tie strap this on here and work our way up to wiring up the hot in the ground. Alright, so that didn't take long. And you see I've basically run the cord up the shaft of the trolling motor, on around it, and run it along the cable. Wire tied it to the cable here for the trolling motor control. Put a few more tie straps on it and hide the rest of this cable because we've got plenty of it. And then we'll get on to wiring it up for power. Alright guys, so this is why I'm making a video here, because I've run into something on my boat that I've had to modify just a little bit. Again, like I said, it's an older boat. So let me show you what I've had to do here. Basically, trying to get there's an open hole here. Nothing in it, no electrical wiring or anything like that, but that's where I wanted the bulk of that wire to live. And so I've had to take this plate right here, modify the back of it just a little bit, and so I could accommodate this, the wiring, so I wouldn't have just a big rat's nest of wiring laying up here in the front of the boat. So if you can look, what I've done here is I've run this wire into the top of this, and I'm going to put some silicone. Just got some clear adhesive waterproof silicone. Just going to put a dab in this hole right here so we don't get any extra water down. Reseal where I broke this seal at the top here, and I've got a hole coming out the bottom, so basically got a nice clean install on this side. Can maybe get some clips here later if I need them, but I don't think I'm going to need them. Looks like the wire's laying nicely there. So fixing to have the transducer completely done, and then I'll have to turn my attention to wiring it up for power. Alright guys, now I've got that completed. Got the wiring run through it. The bulk of the wiring is behind this plate. Got the top resealed with clear silicone. Now I got to move over to wiring it up, getting power to it over here behind the switch panel. So now I'm trying to get the power wired up here, and just took the electrical panel off, and I've been working to find the power in the ground. Good test light always comes in handy. Got to make sure you have a good ground, and then find the hot wire. So I found my power in my ground, and I'm fixing to splice into that to get power to the Lowrance unit. Let me show you what I got here. So as you can tell, a little bit of a rat's nest of wiring in here, but basically I found myself a good ground. I'm going to use this ground wire right here, and this hot wire that's coming off to the aerator right there. I'm going to use some of these splices to put them together. Don't typically like to use these, but I think they'll work well for what I'm trying to do here, and should be able to have it together here pretty quick. I wanted to show you guys too that I did wire in the fuse that comes with the Lowrance unit. On this end where it goes to the unit, I actually soldered that. I don't typically like to use butt connectors, so I soldered that, put some electrical tape on it. Okay, so I have these wire splices in there now, and if you're going to use these splices, make sure they get into the metal when you push down on them. If you've never used these before, basically they've got a piece of metal right here that you push down that makes the connection, and actually on this ground wire right here, the piece of metal never cut through the wire, and so it wouldn't power up. So I had to do some troubleshooting on that real quick, but now I've got the wire splices on for the hot wire, for the ground wire, and I can come over here now, and I've got power to my Lowrance unit. This is the finished product. Got the electrical panel put back together and sealed. Got the side panel put back on and sealed. All the wires tied down. Can't wait to get out fishing and try this. I want to thank you guys for watching. If there's something that you've seen that we could have done better in this video, always willing to learn from other people. post in the comments below and let us know. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. I appreciate you tuning in to Get Out Fishing.